So today we've traveled to mycenae, which is prehistoric. So it was before, Greek civilization was even a thing. This is before they had gods, or before they, thought to worship gods. And instead they just worship the earth. The name mycenae comes from the Greek word for mushrooms, because there actually used to be a lot of mushrooms and rivers, and it was very green. It's still fairly green, but she said it was like, imagine like emerald, like it was very lush. This was the most successful and strongest civilization in the like prehistoric world, and we're about to go through it. That this structure here has not been rebuilt or anything. This is the original structure, and that triangle on top, it was used to alleviate some of the pressure on the doorway so that it wouldn't collapse or have to be These rebuilt. Bricks are about 120 tons, and they used to believe that it was built by Cyclops, who were very tall and had one eye and many hands coming out of their stomach. Yeah, but archaeologists believe that they had invented cranes and they were using cranes instead. And now we're going inside.
So now that we're in here, she told us that it was a tomb where people would come to bury their loved ones, and she explained that the process was that they would, the family would clean them first with wine and then put them in fancy clothes, and then they would dig a shallow grave, like right here, where we're standing, and then they would spend the night in here, have dinner, and make sure that the person didn't get back up, essentially. There's another room in there. I don't know, it's looking pretty dark. I'm not sure if I want to go in. This puppy is sleeping, and Dr. C said that he's here every single time that they come. So maybe he's like a spirit guide or something. He's very handsome, though. These are gifts that they would bring to worship the woman who they believed was like Mother Earth, the goddess, I guess. They're all supposed to be women, either depicting like putting their hands up and worshiping, or holding their hands down towards the stomach, like to represent unborn life. To see the remains of some murals that were painted on the wall. One thing that our guide mentioned is that during these times, everyone had their own mug in the house, and when they died, that mug was buried with them. So, like, all their belongings was like buried with them. So, any riches that they had, but especially the mugs. These are the remains of, this is a bronze shield, and this is part of the helmet. And these are remainders of like the spears and the different tips down here. These are clay and stone cannuli. I don't know what that is, but I'd like to find out because I think they look pretty cool. And the fun fact I've just read is, according to tradition, Mycenae was founded by Perseus. So, what do you know? It said that these lions guarding the gate to Mycenae are the last remaining sculptures of the prehistoric time, and we're standing right in front of it. She said that this mountain right here resembles like the mask laying down. So that little edge right there that curves down sharply, that's his nose. So it's like someone's like laying on their back. Okay, so now that we've made it to the top, oh, there's a giant juicy bug flying around me. But it's so beautiful, and I found this little patch of flowers, and I took one. But it's so beautiful up here. You can see all the vineyards, and all the ruins are like down below. There's some girls from Study Abroad. So cute. There's a drone flying above us, and I keep thinking that it's a swarm of bees from when I got attacked at the lake. Or not attacked, but chased. And it's actually triggering my fight or flight. And the answer right now is flight. I'm trying to get down this hill as fast as I can. We also only have like 7 minutes until the bus leaves, and we got a bit to go. We've gone to a pottery workshop, and what's really interesting is this place actually used to be a chicken farm. And there's a stage over there, and one of the girls just performed a little song for us from our group, and we were all singing like Adele together, and it was really precious. This wall is all doors, and now it's time to go make some pottery.
Why are you folding it again? To hold it evenly? Oh, no, you don't have to. That's why you're rolling it. Here are my creations. This is my Hershey, a little heart. I think they can be like keychains. I put a swirl inside my bowl. And then this is my name.
Epidaurus right now, which was a
place where people would go to rest, mostly for like they say issues with the spirit, so like psychology problems. And she said that people from like miles away, like all over the Mediterranean, would come here to get well again. And it was functioning and open for like 1,000 years. So we're about to go on a little walk. Yeah, see what it's like. Just explained to us that the reason why it was such a like attractive spot for many people was because, well, I feel it now, but there's like they call it Aura, Oro, the goddess of like the sea wind, and she comes here. So from far away you can feel like the breeze, which is great because after our last spot it was really still and hot, and I think we could all use a good cool down. She just told us that this is one of their stadiums in which they would use for exercise after going on a cleanse, where they would drink like a lot of tea. Then they would start exercising, and then doctors would discuss, what needs to happen next, either with their diet or workout routine, or I don't know, other wellness practices. Okay, so snakes were deeply connected to the idea of health for ancient Greece, and one of the reasons is because the snakes were cool to the touch, and so doctors would carry around snakes to give to patients with fevers, and they would kind of use them like ice packs, and the snakes liked it because the bodies were warm. So I just thought that was interesting. She was telling us that this was some of the medical records of patients, and they would be displayed in gardens and libraries. But yeah, just if there was like an interesting case, and it's all just carved into this giant slab of stone. Some more. And more over here. And then she told us that these are the medical instruments that were used for mental procedures. I'm thinking like lobotomies, which I'm gonna be so honest, I'm getting kind of like queasy thinking about it. And I just wonder what it was like. Probably not very fun. Well, look what's on her shoulders. It's a little snake guy. And another snake. This amphitheater is one of the best preserved amphitheaters from prehistory because an earthquake buried it. I forgot to take any videos, so this is just a picture of us exploring it. It was huge, and they used it for like group therapy, so that people could maybe relate to the characters on stage and experience some kind of catharsis. She also talked about the word sympathetica, something like that, in Greek. And it means to ache together, and I thought that was very nice. So even if you couldn't relate to the character, if all the people around you are crying and you're sad too because it was a sad play, then I guess it was therapeutic for them. Well, okay, that's everything. Bye, guys. Love y'all.